barren, strange fruit.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's your lady Ray Ray. Sometimes secular education will miss key Black historical and history-making Black individuals in the month of Black History. We know our Dr. Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman, George Washington Carver, and maybe if you're fortunate enough, loosely, Malcolm X. However, Black history is so much more than integration, underground railroads, and peanut butter. You're talking about a wealth of vibrant culture with so many contributions to society, science, and the socioeconomic wealth of the globe. So today, let's take 5 minutes to learn some about these monumental people that history class has had the misfortune to historically forget. Today's inventor will be Granville T Woods. He was known as Black Edison. Pause. I find that a little insulting because he has his own name, but I'll continue. Granville Woods was an African-American inventor who made key contributions to the development of the telephone, streetcar, and more. Granville T. Woods was born in Columbus, Ohio on April 23, 1856. To free African Americans, he held various engineering and industrial jobs before establishing a company to develop electrical apparatus. Known as Black Edison, again, rude, he registered nearly 60 patents in his lifetime, including a telephone transmitter, a trolley wheel, and the multiplex telegraph, over which he defeated a lawsuit by Thomas Edison. Woods died in 1910. And the reason why I say that's rude is because this man is not Thomas Edison. To keep calling someone the black version of a white man, it's racist. But anyways, I'll continue. Early life. Born in Columbus, Ohio on April 23, 1856. To free African Americans, Granville T. Woods received little schooling as a young man, and in his early teens took up a variety of jobs, including a railroad engineer in a railroad machine shop, as an engineer on a British ship, in a steel mill, and as a railroad worker. From 1876 to 1878, Woods lived in New York City, taking courses in engineering and electricity, a subject that he realized early on held the key to the future. Back in Ohio in the summer of 1878, Woods was employed for 8 months by the Springfield, Jackson, and Pomeroy Railroad Company to work at the pumping stations and the shifting cars in the city of Washington Courthouse, Ohio. He was then employed by the Dayton and Southeastern Railway Company as an engineer for 13 months. During this period, while traveling between Washington Courthouse and Dayton, Woods began to form ideas for what would later be credited as his most important invention, the Inductor Telegraph. He worked in the area until the spring of 1880 and then moved to Cincinnati. Living in Cincinnati, Woods eventually set up his own company to develop, manufacture, and sell electrical apparatus, and in 1889, he filed for his first patent for an improved steam boiler furnace. His later patents were mainly for electrical devices, including his second invention, an improved telephone transmitter. The patent for his device, which combined the telephone and telegraph, was bought by Alexander Graham Bell, and the payment freed Woods to devote himself to his own research. One of his most important inventions was the Trawler, a grooved metal wheel that allowed streetcars, later known as trolleys, to collect electrical power from overhead wires. So, for those of you who use public transit right now, he has greatly influenced our current transportation in more ways than one. Wood's most important invention was the multiplex telegraph, also known as the induction telegraph or block system, in 1887. The device allowed men to communicate by voice over telegraph wires, ultimately helping to speed up important communications and subsequently preventing crucial errors such as train accidents. Woods defeated Thomas Edison's lawsuit that challenged his patent and turned down Edison's offer to make him a partner. I'll pause right there. You see why it's, again, rude to call him the Black Edison? Therefore, Woods was often known as Black Edison. Rude. After receiving the patent for the multiplex telegraph, Woods reorganized his Cincinnati company as the Woods Electric Company. In 1890, he moved his own research operations to New York City, where he was joined by a brother, Harriet Woods, who also had several inventions of his own. Woods' next most important invention was the power pickup device in 1901, which is the basis of the so-called third rail, currently used by electric power transit systems. From 1902 to 1905, he received patents for an improved air brake system. Now, pause. During my research, I've seen some people disputing him making the third rail, but a patent is a patent, and the proof is in the pudding, so I'll continue. By the time of his death on January 30th, 1910, in New York City, Granville T Woods had invented 15 appliances for electric railways, received nearly 60 patents, many of which were assigned to the major manufacturers of electrical equipment that are part of today's daily life. You guys are starting to see a trend here. As usual, Black inventors are not taking credit for all of their inventions, and as usual, they're being bought out, unfortunately, by these big mega companies. But hopefully you enjoyed today's little snippet, and if you are still curious about him, feel free to look him up and continue your studying. Until then, I hope you like, share, or subscribe, please, and I'll see you next time.